I literally said to Jada, that's it. I retire. I retire from trying to make you happy.
Having to receive Pac's ashes in that way was a really devastating moment.
The bald head bitch on meth. Found about where people feel they can just speak their mind and talk about Pac the way they talk about Pac for publicity, when it's a bunch of motherfucking lies.
Oh, it looks like Will Smith has officially had enough of Jada running around telling the world that Tupac was her one and true soulmate. And child, now it seems like Will might be out for revenge. So you know how 50's documentary alleged that Diddy was the one who put the hit out on Tupac? Well, here's what's strange. Jada has been real quiet ever since those allegations came out. And that's weird, considering she never misses a chance to say she wants justice for Pac.
They've arrested someone that was in the car. This person has been saying that they were in the car that night. I want to know who called the hit.
But now Will decided to shake the table and dropped a little hint suggesting that Jada may have been around Diddy's freak-off parties back in the day. And if that's true, it raises some serious questions. Because Jada knew exactly how Tupac felt about Diddy. Pac openly hated that man and even accused him of trying to have him killed. So why would Jada still be partying with Diddy after all that? And if she did, doesn't that look like a betrayal of Tupac, the same man she now claims was her soulmate? Will is tired of Jada rewriting history, and he's ready to give her a taste of her own medicine.
If Will looked back and was trying to give me whatever the hell it was I was asking for, he wouldn't have been able to accomplish it anyway.
I need you to go make yourself happy and just prove to me that it's even possible.
Okay, so after 50 Cent's Diddy documentary brought those long-standing rumors back to the surface about Diddy allegedly being connected to Tupac's, people started tagging Jada left and right and asking why she's been real quiet when it comes to Diddy. Not only has Jada never addressed Diddy's alleged connection to Tupac's death, but she's also stayed completely silent about all the other accusations surrounding him. Now, some of y'all might be saying, why does Jada even need to address it? That's not her business. But see, that's where the issue is. Jada made it her business. She spent years telling anyone who will listen that Tupac was her soulmate and that she wouldn't rest until there was justice for him. So was she now staying quiet because of all those rumors circulating that both Will and Jada were allegedly involved in those FO parties Diddy used to throw? And let's not forget that Diddy's former bodyguard Gene Deal once claimed that Diddy tried to fight Will Smith because Will and Jada supposedly made a move on J-Lo.
He said to me, he said, yo, I think Will and Jada is trying to scoop up Jennifer. I want you to stay close because I'm a snuff on it. He thought that Jada and Will was coming on too strong to Jennifer, making advance.
Now, when Diddy was later asked about the situation on Jimmy Kimmel, he looked real uncomfortable. Like he didn't expect that story to ever see the light of day.
When you were dating J-Lo, Will Smith and Jada tried to pick her up on a threesome and you were going to beat up Will Smith. Is that true?
But here's where it gets even messier. While Jada is staying completely silent on all these allegations, Will just decided to speak out. And he denied ever partying with Diddy.
I don't have to do with Puffy, so y'all can stop all that
Now listen, we don't actually know if Will is telling the truth here, but what's interesting is that he didn't try to defend his wife. And that's wild when you really think about it, because this is the same man who walked on stage and slapped Chris Rock over a harmless joke about Jada. But now that Jada's name is being dragged into this Diddy mess, Will couldn't say, me and my wife have nothing to do with Diddy. He only made sure to clear himself. Well, according to insiders close to Will, that's because he's allegedly fed up with Jada pushing this narrative that she cared so deeply about Tupac when behind behind the scenes, she may have gotten close to Diddy as soon as Pac was gone. Folks close to Will are saying he's tired of hearing how Jada supposedly loved Tupac more than anyone, and that's why he decided to let her take the heat on her own when it comes to this whole Diddy situation. But hold up, because this actually goes way deeper than Will just being petty. Because it's not just him. Several other people who actually knew Tupac have already come forward calling Jada out and accusing her of flat out lying about her relationship with Pac, and even disrespecting his name after he died. Remember when Jada claimed Suge Knight gave her some of Tupac's ashes, and then she hinted that Suge might be responsible for Pac's death?
You write about the day that Suge Knight delivered his ashes to you.
Right.
And I could feel your rage on that page. What can you tell us about that day?
Having to receive Pac's ashes in that way was a really devastating moment, to just get him in this little cardboard box. And yeah, I was very rageful about the whole thing.
You write that he was sort of cavalier about how he delivered it.
He was.
But get this, Suge was quick to check Jada and accused her of lying about Tupac for publicity.
About where people feel they can just speak their mind and talk about Pac the way they talk about Pac for publicity, when it's a bunch of lies. I'm going to tell you, Jada, and I'm going to tell you the rest of the weirdos who on that bullshit. Two things I'm going to let you know. You can get rich with the devil's money, but you only can be happy with God's money. Get that Illuminati is real, but these motherfuckers are miserable.
Now listen, Jada and Pac were close at one point, and Pac did speak highly of Jada back in the day. That part is true. But that was over 20 years ago, and people seem to forget that their friendship had already ended long before Tupac was murdered. And let's be real, nobody actually knows how Tupac would feel about Jada if he were still alive today. In fact, TK Kirkland recently claimed that Pac wasn't nearly as obsessed with Jada as she makes it seem. And then he also suggested that Pac probably wouldn't even rock with the present-day version of Jada at all.
You know, and I'm tired of her always talk about Tupac would have did. Tupac wouldn't have fucked with her. Tupac wouldn't have fucked with her. I'm tired of that story. It would have never went down. Oh, Tupac. Bitch, I know Tupac. Tupac wouldn't have been fucking with
But
you.
TK didn't stop there either. He went on to say that by the time Pac was killed, he was already done with Jada. According to TK, whatever bond they once had was long over, and Pac had already moved on.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Tupac, he had a fiance before he died, right? Kidata Jones, Quincy Jones' daughter.
Exactly. Right, sure was. Yeah, they wasn't rocking like that. They wasn't like that. But in today's world, the people can lie so much, and once you get out there, woof, it could take off. I'm tired of all that.
And then there's also the fact that Jada is now exposing private information about Tupac that he didn't want people to know about. When Jada talked to People magazine about the whole Oscar slap scandal, she somehow managed to drag Tupac into it and claimed that Pac also had alopecia, just like her. But unlike her, he supposedly didn't want to talk about it publicly. Jada said, "I don't think Tupac ever talked about the alopecia he suffered from. After he was in Northern California with the police officers that beat him up, he started losing his hair, and his alopecia patterns were far more extreme than mine. I don't think Pac ever talked about his alopecia, but he also looked really good with a bald head." So let me get this straight. Tupac supposedly wanted to keep his condition private, didn't want to speak on it publicly, but Jada felt like it was her place to put his business out there for the whole world to hear, and this is the man she claims to be her soulmate? After Pac got out of prison, he really seemed like he was trying to change his life. He talked openly about turning over a new leaf, distancing himself from music, and focusing more on acting. On top of that, Pac got into a serious relationship with Kidata Jones.
Working on my little production company, a movie production company. We got a lot of good things happening. So I'm just, if I say it right now, the way my luck has been going, it'll all fall through. But if I said it, you go, "Oh, that's really nice." But just give me a month, just so I can lock it down. Then I tell everybody. But it's good stuff. I just want to push the envelope and work. I want to move further away from the music and go start waning myself into the acting more.
And by this point, Tupac had already stopped talking to Jada. Meanwhile, Jada moved on with Will, and just a few months later, they got married after she found out she was pregnant with Jaden. As for Pac, he wasn't slowing down either. He was head over heels for Kidata Jones. He even introduced Kidata to his mother, Afeni Shakur, and he told her he wanted to start a family with Kidata. Tupac had even bought a house for him and Kidata in Calabasas, and they were ready to start their future together. But tragically, that future was cut short just 4 months later when Pac was shot and killed in Las Vegas. And Kidata was right there in Vegas, waiting for him in their hotel room. When she got the call that he'd been shot, she rushed to the hospital, and Afeni led her into the room where Pac was being monitored. Kidata was reportedly one of the last people to speak to him before he passed. After Pac's death, Kidata fell into a deep depression, and sources say she couldn't speak or even leave her home for 9 months as she tried to process losing Pac so suddenly. Now let's put this side by side with Jada. Notice how Kidata never once went on camera or gave interviews spilling personal details about Tupac or their relationship for publicity. She stayed private, kept it real, and respected Pac's legacy. Meanwhile, Jada is out here exposing Tupac's personal business to sell her book. She wasn't even there for Tupac during his final years, and yet somehow she wants us to believe that Suge Knight personally handed her Pac's ashes. Baby, people are not buying that story. And now with Jada getting dragged into this whole Diddy situation while staying completely silent about the allegations that Diddy ordered the hit on Tupac, it's starting to look really shady. But what's your take on all this? Do you believe Jada's really trying to get justice for Pac, or is she hiding something about his death? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't miss this next video.